O'Reilly's Auto Parts. Ladies, my Mercedes, hold on, 4 in the back, 2 if you're fat, get the gat. I'm curious, ladies. It seems like there's a demographic of women that's out here committing some of the most heinous crimes, both accusing men of doing things that they didn't do and out here frauding. Now, I brought this up last night and people was acting like I was crazy for making sure that I brought this to the front of the congregation, but we never get the same energy to people that accuse people or do things that they're not supposed to do if they just so happen to not have a tool in between their legs. But let me tell you something. These women out here in all shapes, sizes, races, all of that, they are out here finessing. And one of the reasons that they tend to get away with it a little bit longer than they normally would is just because they are a woman. I'm telling you, check it out.
The big story in Action News is attempted rape charges dropped against a man wrongfully accused after he spent more than a month behind bars. Tonight, a 20-year-old Bucks County woman says she lied about the attack after police said her story didn't add up. Action News reporter Caroline Goggin is live in Middletown Township, Bucks County with the full story. Caroline.
Well, Rick, this is a story we reported on a month ago, and tonight I spoke with the attorney who represents the man who was accused of attempted rape and kidnapping in this grocery store parking lot. That attorney tells me that that woman's story never added up and that the update in this case is better late than never. 41-year-old Daniel Pearson is home with his family tonight, out of jail after the Bucks County DA says he was wrongly accused of attempted rape and kidnapping. This is the woman who accused him of those crimes, 20-year-old Angela Yurimova. Police in Middletown Township said Yurimova called them on the night of April 16th, claiming a man grabbed her in the parking lot of the Red Nurse off Lincoln Highway and attempted to pull her pants down while he carried and pulled her back toward his truck. Yurimova said she was able to break free and that he drove away. Police used a license plate reader system that spotted a similar truck nearby. They tracked it to Pearson, and he was held at the Bucks County Correctional Facility on $1 million bail. A new complaint now states Daniel Pearson was charged with multiple felony offenses and remained incarcerated for a total of 31 days before Yurimova admitted to her lies. The complaint states that shortly after his arrest, officials received information from Pearson's family that warranted further investigation. So detectives reviewed surveillance video and found at no point in the video did Pearson's truck travel through any part of the path Yurimova claimed the vehicle took. Yurimova was called to the DA's office for questioning last Thursday, and because of more inconsistencies in her story, she was called back in on Friday. That's when the complaint states Yurimova admitted that she had lied about the entire incident and that no assault occurred. Yurimova said she had seen Pearson and his truck before in the parking lot of her old job and that he was, quote, creepy. All charges against Pearson have been dropped.
Before we continue down this path, because I didn't know that you guys was going to send this to me based off of, it literally happened over the last few days. This was reported over the last few days. Think about this for a minute. Believe all women. The only reason that this man is not being locked up, charged, and is possibly facing a prison sentence of 10, 20, 30 years, the only reason is because we now have the technology to go through and figure out in certain cities, because this is not everywhere, only in the major cities, we now have the technology to go through and figure out whether or not this man's truck, whether or not he aligned with it, his cell phone is being pinged in the right area and all of that stuff, right? We now have the technology to determine that this man is actually innocent. Now, when I bring this up on Monday nights or when I talk about it on After Hours, and we're going to deep dive into After Hours on a lot of different subjects, I'm not sure yet, but this man was sitting in jail for 31 days because he didn't have $1 million on to bond out. They put his bond at a crazy amount. She said that she had already seen him, which means that she was targeting him. She hunted him. Let me say that again. She didn't even like the way he looked, And so she hunted a man, had him arrested, thrown in jail, possibly charged with rape, kidnapping, sexual assault. The only reason that she came clean is because we have the technology, because now what's really happening is that we're leveraging the technology that we've now recently developed to free a lot of these men that's being falsely accused of things that they didn't do on a regular basis. And this is the reason why you have to not be overzealous to automatically believe and don't convict people in the court of public opinion, because you have to wait until the evidence shows that they're absolutely guilty. Otherwise, you are ruining lives and ruining families. I'm about to play a little bit more of this because I want to see if anything happened to her, because that's the part that we really don't have a conversation about, why these women is accusing people, frauding people, messing up families. Ain't no telling whether or not this man probably lost his job, probably lost income, probably lost his reputation, out here looking stupid, probably made the news. And these articles and these things will never, ever go away, ever. The only reason I'm going to keep playing this particular video is because I want to see if anything happened to her.
And now Yurimova is the one facing charges. She is currently in jail and is due back in court sometime later this month. And according to that criminal complaint we got our hands on earlier today, Yurimova told police that she was going to admit to them at some point that she had lied about this entire situation.
Lies.
At some point she was going to tell them that before the court proceedings. She also told police that she admitted to her father that she had lied about all of this. We're live in Middletown Township tonight. I'm Caroline Goggin.
So basically, she had got into a situation and she needed an out, or she didn't like the dude. She falsely accused him, and then she ruined the whole family. Now, here's the worst part about this situation, and I'm glad they arrested this woman. Here's the worst part about this situation is that no matter what she's charged with, making a false report or whatever, it will never even remotely carry close to the consequences that he would have gotten had he got convicted of something that was falsely accused. She was willing to throw this man's entire life away just based off of nothing. He never said nothing to her. He ain't do nothing to her. She was willing to throw this man's entire life away based off of a random accusation of a truck that she recognized, and then this dude was thrown in jail with $1 million bond. Crazy, bro. Absolutely insane. I believe that accusers that purposely lie and falsely accuse people should be charged with the same crime that the person that they accused would have been charged with, and you will see all of this nonsense stop. All of this nonsense will stop. That's what I believe. Hey, the dude never called in. Why didn't he call in if he had smoke? You see what I'm saying? People got fake smoke out here. Fake smoke. See, I'm the only major content creator that can draw over 2,000 people in the live stream and then drop the link if you feeling froggy and say, hey, okay, Leap, then hold me accountable. Tell me what it is that you really feel. Whispers. I'm going to go ahead and close that off since you decided that's not the path that you really wanted to take. Y'all be real tough behind the keyboard, but see, now that we got this live streaming technology where we can bring you straight up to the front of the congregation, you don't want to say nothing. Now, let me get back to my show. But she's not the only one that's frauding in this particular way. We want to move against the false accusations, and we want to tell you and we want to show you how they out here scamming, shamming, and they not really getting to the bag like they say that they are. Check it out.
A clerk at an auto tag agency is behind bars after police say she committed fraud.
NBC6 reporter Ari Alter is live from Miami with more on this alleged scheme. And Ari, we're talking about millions of dollars.
Yeah, Juwan, think of it like money laundering for stolen cars, car laundering. Doral police say they've busted up a car theft ring which had stolen at least 18 luxury vehicles. And with fake VIN numbers, they just put VIN numbers that are counterfeit onto the cars. And with phony titles, they could then resell those vehicles. And 2 of those cars are sitting here at the Doral Police Department out back.
We were able to target, we were able to infiltrate, and we were able to dismantle this criminal enterprise.
And you're looking at 2 of the 18 stolen cars. Altogether, including the Lambo and the others, They're worth more than $3 million.
These individuals were targeting expensive vehicles, and they had made a connection with this person that we arrested yesterday at the tag agency, so it was a perfect storm.
She's falsifying the documents for these stolen vehicles.
Catherine Moran is charged with 18 counts of official misconduct and 18 counts of title fraud.
They out here robbing y'all. Let me give y'all a close-up of what they look like. I know that y'all want to be riding in that Lambo. They got it for the low. All they did was pay whoever it was that sold the vehicle, and then they re-tagged it, and they got that inside job in order to continue to finesse y'all. So when y'all see a lot of these people and they riding around in these big cars, and this is one of the reasons why I always advocate for the receipts. Hey, show your receipts. Show where you getting that bag from. Show where that money coming from. Show how you running it up. Show me how you got it, because anybody can get it in unscrupulous ways. But I'm wondering if you paying taxes on that. I'm wondering if your LLC and your financial paperwork is up to date and your standing is right for your company. I need to see what's going on out in these streets, because honestly, I just don't by default believe anything that anybody says just because they say it.
Fraud. According to Doral police, she enabled the car laundering enterprise to function. She allegedly rubber-stamped counterfeit documents for the cars, which were stolen all over South Florida.
A car could have been stolen in Broward County, brought to this chop shop in Doral. These individuals would re-VIN the vehicle, create fictitious paperwork, present it to Miss Moran in the tag agency in the city of Miami. Miss Moran would issue them false paperwork, register the vehicle used in the Florida databases, collect $800 to $1,000 per vehicle that was presented to her through Cash App, Zelle, or other means. And that's how this thing kept happening over and over. It happened 18 times.
Moran allegedly pocketed about $20,000, and the car owners aren't the only victims.
The reason why sometimes insurance prices are so high and these premiums are so elevated is because of these types of crimes. So it's something that we take extremely serious.
Those kind of crimes affect all of us. Police say this started with one stolen car report. The owner had installed a GPS locator device in his car. It was pinging back to a warehouse in Doral. Police got a search warrant. It turned out there was a chop shop inside that warehouse. They found 3 stolen cars there, and since then, they've made 6 arrests, and they say more are expected as this investigation continues.
Listen, this is what I'm telling y'all. Everybody that's saying that they got it ain't necessarily getting it. Everybody that's saying that they got it ain't necessarily get it. And it's funny because even especially down in Miami, Miami has, well, let me just revise that. Florida and South Florida has the highest insurance prices as far as on vehicles in the entire nation. They have the highest insurance prices. They got the highest theft rates, and it's a lot of fraud. And so whenever you see all of that good weather and all of these people out here stunting, understand that it may come with a lot of fraud, a lot of finessing, a lot of stealing, a lot of wheeling, and man, when these people be coming over here sometimes and then they wind up getting super rich immediately, I know that it's some that actually worked hard. I know it's some that probably got it out the mud, but it's a lot of people that's just out here doing some unscrupulous things and they tearing up the streets, right? So shout out to the police department down there in Miami for doing good work and making sure that we get these hood rats off the street. Let me read some of this.